Welcome. You have reached Imperial Reviews, and today's recap is Bel Air Season 3, Episodes 1 through 3. Subscribe to the channel, like the video. Let's get into it. At the beginning of each season of Bel Air, they launched the first 3 episodes outright first, and then they start doing weekly episodes from there. So episode 4 will air on August the 29th, and then we'll start doing recaps of the weekly episodes from there. So they just throw out 3, get you caught up and for the episode. This is picking up in the summertime between Will and Carlton's senior year. And we know it left off with Carlton admitting to the group that he had a drug addiction problem, and it showed Will the episode leaving with Will pretty much saying, "Hey, I'm actually staying here for the summer," and it's gonna be basically his first summer in Bel Air. And so he said that with Lisa, and pretty much had Lisa them rekindling. So it starts off basically with them basically not having no titles, but they've been kicking it strong. And Carlton is Lisa is at the country club, and Will's been showing up there pretty much with her and doing his basketball AAU circle type thing. And Carlton is about to be released from rehab. While Carlton was in rehab, he did get acquainted with another young lady that was in rehab as well. You find out later in episode 2 or 3 that she's an offender. She's been in there rehab a few times. So we all know in last season that Carlton pretty much threatened Ashley that she better not tell anybody. So his relationship was kind of strained with her too. You got Aunt Viv, Uncle Phil is kind of like that's their son. They got to deal with him, but they don't trust him they kind of look at where did they fell at with him. So that's where we at with Carlton. As for Jeffrey, we know at the end of last season we seen that he received pictures, that somebody sent him pictures with an envelope of basically him seeing somebody was seeing his son, like they know who his son is. So you do find out by episode 3 what took place and who those pictures could have potentially been. So you got Uncle Phil, who's pretty much partnership with his law firm, and he an old acquaintance. He once was, she brought him in the fold with this company, but she really has some intent. So he did kiss her at the end of last season, but it wasn't supposed to go nowhere further. But we all know that's going to be a problem going forward, and it does run its ugly head within the first 3 episodes. So that was the awkward season, and Aunt Viv is coming into her own. Remember way back she got in part of that organization with her art. So she's starting to take off where she has her own life. She can't do what she once did before, taking a backslide to Phil's life and the things that he got going on. She got her own stuff going on now. And then we had Jazz and Hillary, and we know Hillary left with the football player, and Jazz showed up to the airport late, and she was already gone. And now this season comes back with her being with the athlete coming off the flight, and her doing some traveling and stuff like that. So the setting now is Jazz is having hardship to keep his business afloat. It was passed down from his uncle, so he having hardship on that angle. Then you have Hillary's back with her boyfriend, and now they're going to have an event. So instantly, Will is happy to see Carlton. He ready for them to get the dynamic duo to get back in the fold. And Carlton is kind of like slow motion because now they took the door off in his room, so it's no privacy. He's reflecting on now he got to build himself back up. He was supposed to get into Princeton, or I think Yale, one of them, Princeton or Yale, one of them, and they pretty much backed away from him since he came out and said what took place and what he was addiction and everything like that. So Will is in a space where he wants to be more than an athlete. So while he was at the country club, he ran into a guy that was in the MMA. The guy did a pivot from the MMA and did some investments. Now he's got into crypto. Now he's well off and he has great financial success. Will is looking at him like, man, this is what I could do. I got to be more than just basketball. And so he's trying to find himself. In the meanwhile, he's still thinking about his problems and his history with his dad. So him and Carlton is out and they run into Lou, and Lou's pretty much back, and he finds out that Lou's running a barbershop. And he pretty much basically, I gotta face my demons. I gotta get this out of me so I can move forward. So he went to go see Lou, and him and Lou have a brief conversation, and finds out that Lou was good in basketball. And Lou pretty much said, where you think you got it from? Pretty much telling him, like, don't get caught up in the fairy tale of the Bel Air dream, and you don't take handouts, and you need to grind for everything you got. Basically saying that to him. And Will pretty much told him, I ain't asked for your advice. You find out that Jeffrey has his son. He went and grabbed his son from the UK and told him he needed to stay here. The son is wondering, like, who were you? What were you involved in? You find out that Jeffrey was involved with some bad people, and he wanted to get gone, and he ended up having to kill the main person because they wouldn't release him. And so it's always been and he had to disappear. So it's always been a thing, like, and that's why he pretty much made it that he didn't have a child. So that's why they sent the pictures like, we know you got a child out here. So he pretty much told his son what happened. Like, this is why I had to get you out of here, because they know I have a child now, and to get to me, they'll get to you. So you also see some suspectness about his child, his son, pretty much showing that his son is talking to someone on the phone, basically like, Will overhears him pretty much saying, hey man, you don't Jeffrey doesn't know. Basically saying something secretive. You don't know what that's about. So Will doesn't want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but basically he told Carlton, they pretty much told the son, hey, maybe Jeffrey should hear it from you. So in an effort to pivot for Will, he doesn't want to do AAU basketball for the summer. He wants to pivot and do something different. So Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv pretty much said, y'all need to go get jobs. Get jobs at the clubhouse. The country house. And they go get jobs, and Will wants to meet with the guy who was the entrepreneur and pivoted from the MMA. He runs a program for the youth, giving young people opportunities. Will missed the first interview. Carlton talked to him, basically said he's a good guy. He just hasn't figured it all out yet. Give him another chance. They give him another chance. So they told him and Carlton, y'all come out with your own business, and pretty much I see what I could do for y'all. So in efforts to save Jazz business, to help him out with his small businesses with the taxes and everything, they go and promote their business, and all proceeds will go to helping a small business, which is Jazz. So they get involved with that. They come up with a name called Black Success. They selling their merch. They get Lisa and Will's old girl to help promote their company. In the process of helping them promote the company, Aunt Viv helps Will old girl get a job at the country club. that becomes a problem because and Will's blinded. He's just thinking, well, it's nothing. I don't got nothing with her. I'm with Lisa. But Carlton is telling him like, yo, Lisa's territorial. She might not say nothing, but she really feeling some type. She gonna feel some type way that you're messing. You know that your old ex is a woman that you dealt with, a girl that you dealt with is now working with all of y'all. So Will is pretty much is naive, but it comes ahead at the event. Lisa finally blast the girl, pretty much cussed at her, and pretty much like, yo, are you that desperate to try to get with Will when um, you that desperate to get with Will that you would, take up his time, be all in his face and stuff like that. And so Carlton's new girl is there with him as well. Now Aunt Viv ain't like Carlton's girl because she know her history. She was in the so basically, how can she help Carlton if she was a addict? How they gonna help each other? They more subject to relapse. And so Aunt Viv wasn't feeling that Carlton was basically like, she helped me during my times and she's special. Like, you gotta give her a chance. So the counselor of the group that they in sees them two, and pretty much it kind of makes it look like right now. I don't know if he's going to have the best interest for Carlton. Looks like he likes Carlton intimately. So I think he's going to. I don't know. Right now it looks like he's going to have a problem and throw an interference with Carlton messing with that girl because looks like he's got some intimate feelings for Carlton. We'll see how that plays out. You know the agenda. You know that they had to bring that in there. So nevertheless, from there you got Aunt Viv. Pretty much is not sexual or want intimacy with Uncle Phil. Spend some time, and Uncle Phil is pretty much like blowing it off. But in the same regard, he's, when he want to know what's up, Uncle Aunt Viv is in another space. So, when he's pushing up on her, she's pretty much throwing him off. Now, in the event that Uncle Phil had, that he asked his wife to help him cater because she's got network, she had to get a caterer and was referred to her by this, caterer man. They went out to see him. He let her taste his food and everything. When he let her taste his food, she liked his food, signed him up, brought him in. He was a success, but you instantly could see that he was flirting with Aunt Viv. And when he sent the thank you, he didn't send it to Uncle Phil and Aunt Viv. He just sent it to Aunt Viv. So you see that's going to be a problem right there. Meanwhile, well, Uncle Phil, the woman he kissed from his old girl, she's being messy pretty much. She's feeling guilty that she kissed, she's feeling guilty that she kissed Uncle Phil, and her name's Erica, and she feels as though that she, feeling guilty. He telling her like, that shouldn't have happened. We need to keep that between us. Let it go. She's acting like she feeling guilty. So every time Aunt Viv come around, she hurry up and get out the room and making suspect. So eventually Aunt Viv approached her like, listen, when you came back, you just said you needed some help, and it wasn't going to be a problem between you and Phil. You had true, pure temperament coming towards us. What's up? Because every time I see you running off. So of course she be messy and she gonna tell Aunt Viv she and Uncle Phil kiss. So of course he told her it wasn't nothing, but that she basically saying, whole time I'm looking at Carlton, that I can't trust him. I can't, I'm not looking at you, and I can't trust you either. So that's gonna be the problem. That's gonna push her to go down the road with the vendor person that's cooking the food. So see that playing out. So at the venue where they were trying to help Jazz and build money, they Jazz had a real sentimental moment with Will. Basically, he didn't want to sell his. Somebody said they'd give him 30,000. He didn't want to sell his car, but he needed to pay his taxes. He needed money, so he like he got to. So Will, in a trying to be a friend and be supportive, basically told the guy, listen, either you get to keep Jazz's car, we'll do a street racing, and when you keep Jazz's car, or you give us 30,000 plus an extra 5. Dude agreed. Carlton's girl had a Hellcat, so they pulled up the Hellcat, and then Carlton was gonna drive, but then he was kind of fidgety, so Will said, "I'm gonna do it." Will jumped in the car, and then the girl was like, "Well, Will's gonna drive," and then Carlton jumped in the passenger. Now Carlton really knows the real mechanics of the car, so they both get in the car, drive. They're doing the street racing. Carlton is coaching Will along the way and telling him what to do. They eventually win the race. Got Jazz 35,000. Helped him along the way. The cops came. Well, not the cops didn't come. Yeah, the cops didn't come yet. Now, what ended up happening is they see Jeffrey's son was there making side bets, and he the one that told him about the street racing. So he's thinking he's from UK. He's thinking he hustling these guys, and they let him know, no, this could be a big problem. You do this stuff out here in LA or whatever. So he's like, basically these is all suburb kids. They don't know what it is. So he basically think I'm gonna swindle them. So he swindled some guys. He got their money, and pretty much Will and them came into his defense, and he pretty much after they got away and the cops came, they ran off. He told them he actually did have the money. So they said, hey man, they basically seeing his shadiness, and he pretty much was like, thanks for having my back. But they was like, nah man, what's going on? So Jeffrey pulls up, and so they didn't want to tell Jeffrey what they was into. So they told the son, hey, you need to tell Jeffrey like what's going on and come clean. He said, well, if I tell him that, I'm telling him everything. I'm gonna tell him about the street racing. They just man, y'all great be grown. Like y'all already doing grown stuff. Tell them y'all was street racing, whatever. So that didn't make sense that they would even. They just trying to create more dialogue. That situation happened. Ashley, she seen Hillary kiss Jazz at her dad's event. She pretty much approached Hillary, telling her she need to come clean with her boyfriend and let him know you still have feelings for Jazz and you don't need to string him along. Because at the event, they announced that they were engaged, Hillary and her boyfriend. Now she went to her boyfriend's practice, and she was going to tell him. So she got Ivy there with her. Ivy telling her like, no, you don't need to tell him. Just keep it moving. She's like, no, I got to clear my conscience. I need to let him know. So she's going to tell him at the end of his practice. But I seen it. Like those of us that watched this, you seen this coming. You said she was going to tell him at the practice he going to catch an injury. And sure enough, he went up, catch the ball, and you thought that was where the injury was going to happen. He got up like he was cool. He started walking, but he was walking slow. He got a concussion. He passed out. So, of course, that's going to push her to not tell him she want to break it off with him and everything like that because you still have feelings with Jazz. Okay, so, they're going to drag that out. So, I think I covered everything besides Will pivoting. Now they work at the country club. Lisa works at the country club. Jackie works at the country club. And so Will meets a guy there who pretty much didn't have it easy. And him and Will was clashing heads at first, but then, he said basically, Will's like, I come from Philly. I didn't come from this, my upbringing. And he pretty much told him the same. So they connected, and he told Will where he could go at to find some ideals, speaking to the tech guys and stuff like that. So that's pretty much covering all bases of the first 3 episodes. And Ashley, with her little friend that she got at the end of last season 2, that's carrying over to the summer. She actually starting to rap, and it seems like the friend actually writes a lot of stuff in her journal, And then the friend was like, well, let me see. I think the friend either going to take some pictures of the journal and start telling the family business, because Ashley is holding everybody's secrets. And I think that's how the family secrets is going to go out, because Ashley pretty much made in her rap that basically saying that, you know, externally everybody's looking at the family as we got this perfect family, but internally we got a lot of stuff going on. And basically she's holding all the secrets. So we're going to see how that play out. So I think I did a good job of covering episode 1, 2, and 3 to bring you up to speed, the summary. And episode 4 comes out on August 29th. We'll start doing weekly recaps from there. So subscribe to the channel, like the video. Till next time.